Good evening, everyone. This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Wednesday, August 12th, 2020. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. And for those business owners who are looking to advertise on a platform, Florida National News provides 5 different shows to choose from if you're looking for some place to advertise. We love to provide you some details, so just shoot us a quick email at ads@floridanationalnews.com to let us know you're interested. We'd love to get started with you. Now, in the meantime, we like to get started here with our report with the latest COVID-19 numbers coming globally here in the United States and in the state of Florida. So globally, the World Health Organization is reporting that we have finally broken the 20 million mark in confirmed cases, and we're at 737,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the United States, Johns Hopkins University is reporting over 5.1 million confirmed cases and over 165,000 confirmed deaths. Here in the state of Florida, the Department of Health is reporting nearly 551,000 confirmed cases and over 8,700 confirmed deaths. Now, for your first world story today, New Zealand is having to resume its COVID-19 restrictions after the first locally transmitted cases have emerged after 102 days. Their over 3-month streak has just snapped, unfortunately. There are now 4 confirmed cases, as reported by New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. She made the report on Wednesday, But according to the report, the 4 cases are in one household in Auckland. So as a result, Auckland is going under a level 3 lockdown for the next 3 days. It began midday New Zealand time today and will run until midnight on Friday, their time. And under the level 3 restrictions, the non-essential businesses will have to close. Restaurants, bars, and non-essential businesses, they are all going to close. The schools there will be closed as well for the next 3 days, and gatherings over 10 people are not allowed. Now, for the area outside of Auckland, for the rest of New Zealand, they're going into a level 2 lockdown. So the level 2 restrictions is a limit on gatherings of more than 100 people, and social distancing must also continue to be practiced. And then hospitality businesses, while public venues such as museums, libraries, and pools, they can remain open, but only if they comply with the public health measures and ensure 1 meter of social distancing and record keeping. Now, as I mentioned, these measures they have gone into place today and will run until midnight on Friday. Now, jumping to our US story here, the US government has inked a $1.5 billion deal with drug company Moderna for 100 million doses of its COVID-19 vaccine. Now, they entered into agreement with Moderna for this, and this was an announcement made by the White House on Tuesday. So congrats to Moderna on that. This is, of course, part of Operation Warp Speed. You guys heard us report on that. And this is the White House's push to get a vaccine out and available to the rest of the nation by the end of the year. Now, Moderna's price per dose comes to around $30.50 per person for a 2-dose regimen. Now, with the exception of its deal with AstraZeneca, which offered a lower price per drug in exchange for upfront research and development costs instead, all of the deals are averaging between $20 and $42 for a 2-dose course of treatment for these different drugs. Now, Moderna's vaccine candidate, the mRNA-1273, is one of a few that have already advanced to the final stage of testing and is on track to be completed in September, according to an announcement that the company made this month. So congrats to Moderna on that. Now, Moderna's deal with the US will only pay out in full if the drug maker can hit certain unspecified timing benchmarks for vaccine delivery. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. But as of right now, the US has advanced purchase agreements with several companies, including Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Pfizer Inc., BioNTech, Sanofi, and GlaxoSmithKline for their respective vaccine candidates. Now, the agreements would lock in more than 500 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine for the US, assuming that the companies involved receive regulatory approval. You guys heard us report yesterday that Gilead is actually in the process of that as well for their vaccine. They went ahead and completed the marketing application for the US Food and Drug Administration, so they're awaiting approval. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. Jumping here to the state of Florida, this story is actually connected to the Moderna story. The Central Florida COVID-19 vaccine trial is in need of some more volunteers. The Axel research site in DeLand is running the area's clinical vaccine trial for Moderna. And right now they are at 300 participants and they're looking for roughly 1,700 more to close out around 2,000 people. So if you are interested in the vaccine, you can go to axelresearchsites.com/COVID-19-clinical-trials for more information. And of course, the research aiming for 2,000 participants will contribute to Moderna's nationwide total trial of 30,000 people. That's their nationwide total right now. And as Moderna pointed out, if the people don't volunteer, the trial could be delayed, which delays the potential approval of the vaccine. And remember, there's some unspecified timing benchmarks that I mentioned earlier. So this is probably one of those. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that. And remember, just go to visit that website to find out more information if you're interested in volunteering. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with some more stories for you.
Big business and special interest groups have begun their attacks on Rick Singh on social media, radio, television. They want to make sure he's no longer in office. Have someone, anyone but Rick Singh in office. And the reason is simple. They don't want to pay their fair share and expect you to pay it for them. Now, the question is, do you want to pay it for them?
All right, guys, welcome back. And jumping into our next U.S. story, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is urging the White House and congressional Democrats to come back to the table to continue their conversation for coronavirus relief after conversations stalled. The last conversation took place on Friday with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Now, the sides have not huddled since, even with the expiration of lifelines last month, which left a lot of Americans facing the prospect of financial ruin, given the lapse in unemployment benefits, as well as the lapse in the moratorium of eviction. So there are a lot of folks that are struggling right now. And for Senator McConnell's part, he's saying, quote, "I think it's time for everybody to get back to the table. Let's get a deal done." He says the American people are sick of the stalemate. So, and of course, right now, what is happening is President Trump signed 4 executive orders over the weekend, including the $400 unemployment payout, where the states would have to provide for 25% as well for unemployment benefits. So we'll continue to keep you guys apprised of this situation. As of right now, the Democrats and Republicans have very different ideas of how much needs to be spent to combat the pandemic. Democrats have proposed a more than $3 trillion relief package. As you guys heard us report last week, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said the Republicans are doing nowhere close to that. So far, they put forward legislation of roughly $1 trillion. So we'll continue to keep you updated. Now, jumping to a connected story here in the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis is saying that Florida will need some help to make those ends meet in terms of those unemployment benefits, and a consequence being the Medicaid outlays that are going to increase, the Medicaid enrollment that's going to increase, given that folks are in need right now. So he's saying the state may have to borrow to deliver a $400 weekly benefit to the unemployed workers, given the Donald Trump executive order that was signed on August 8th. Now, the COVID-19 outbreak and the job losses led to 570,000 more people enrolling in Medicaid than state legislators expected, which increased the program's cost by $1.6 billion this fiscal year. So the federal stimulus package that covers the increased cost right now expires in December, after which the state will be left to pick up the cost. So, the governor is confident that he'll be able to receive aid from the U.S. Department of Labor to kind of offset some of those expenses. The State Agency for Healthcare Administration reported last week that the COVID-19 response will lead to a $1.6 billion overrun of a $31.3 billion Medicaid spending plan that took effect back on July 1st. Now, the Joint State Legislative Budget Commission must approve any increase in Medicaid spending. So the story continues on that. And we'll continue to keep you updated where that is concerned. So far, Florida has already paid out more than $13.4 billion in state and federal unemployment benefits since the pandemic forced a shutdown back in mid-March. We'll continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break and come back with your business and sports stories.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?
All right, guys, welcome back. And a quick business update on the Boeing company. So far, they are still seeing an increase in order cancellations compared to sales for the 6th month straight. Boeing customers canceled plans to buy 43 of the manufacturer's 737 MAX planes in July as scrapped orders outpaced those sales. The company announced this on Tuesday. Boeing last month said it would cut production targets for some of its aircraft, including the 737 MAX and the 787 Dreamliner, as the pandemic continues to hurt the demand for new planes. So far this year, through the month of July, Boeing has net negative orders of 836 planes, including the aircraft the company took out of its backlog of orders awaiting fulfillment. So Boeing routinely removes orders from its running tally when customers are financially strained, among other reasons. But the July adjustments trimmed the plane maker's backlog to just over or just under 4,500 back orders, or 4,500 orders. Now, most of these cancellations were from aircraft leasing companies. The company did make 4 deliveries, so that's good for Boeing on that. They were able to get 4 sales in July, including a 767 freighter, a 777 freighter, as well as 2 787 Dreamliners. Now, this pandemic, of course, adds to Boeing's troubles that they faced back in March 2019 after the grounding of the 737 MAX in the wake of 2 fatal crashes that killed 346 people. We'll continue to keep you abreast of that. Jumping into your sports story, coming back here to the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis is opening his arms wide for college football to play in his state. If you're a college football fan, you've been hearing stories of different conferences choosing not to start their seasons in the fall, or kind of up in the air as to whether or not they will. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis actually met with Florida State President John Thrasher on Tuesday for discussion on athletics, as the college football season, of course, is threatened with that collapse with the pandemic. But he said, quote, "I asked President Thrasher and coach about, hey, if some of these other conferences shut down, can we welcome their players to the state of Florida?" He said, "Not exactly sure how the NCAA rules work on that, but I can tell you, if there's a way, we want you guys to be able to play as well." Of course, this invitation echoes the one he made back in May for the professional sports leagues. He wanted all of them to come to Florida. He was welcoming everybody. And as you guys know, the NBA and MLS took him up on that invitation, and both of those respective leagues have returned to play, and they're in their respective bubbles at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. He promises for any conferences for college football that are interested in coming to Florida that it can be done safely. Again, we'll continue to keep you guys apprised of that, given Florida still being a hotspot for COVID-19. And you guys haven't heard me make the exhortation in a while, but I'll make it here. Continue to stay safe, safe distance yourself. Make sure to guard your hands, wash them, glove them, sanitize them, and wear your mask, okay? Continue to be careful. In the meantime, we're going to take another quick commercial break and wrap up with your entertainment story.
It takes experience to know the difference in property values. For example, this business is not the same as this business. And this house is definitely not the same as this house. And this, well, this is definitely not the same as this. And that's why it's important to have someone who understands true property appraisals to help our community grow, while making sure everyone pays their fair share. Because experience matters. Re-elect Rick Singh for Orange County Property Appraiser.
All right, guys, welcome back as we wrap up with the entertainment story for the day. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the highest paid actor in Hollywood for the 2nd year in a row. Congrats to The Rock. Between June 2019 and June 2020, he racked up a whopping $87.5 million in income, making $23.5 million alone from his starting role in the upcoming Netflix film Red Notice, according to Forbes. Of course, Forbes released this list every year. Now, the list of highest paid actresses is pending still. We haven't gotten that yet. However, from last year's list, the total earnings from all the actresses on that list was a whopping $314.6 million. We'll keep you apprised when that list comes out for this year. But for The Rock here, for Mr. Johnson, in addition, he's found monetary success with his Under Armour clothing line Project Rock, as well as his acting. So congrats to him. And interestingly enough, as high as 87.5 million sounds, this is actually a slight decrease from 2019, when he made 89.4 million from starring in Jumanji: The Next Level, among his other projects last year. Now, just behind him at number 2 is his Red Notice co-star Ryan Reynolds with 71.5 million. So congrats to Mr. Deadpool on that. And come to think of it, Ryan Reynolds is probably earning a little more than Deadpool right now. So congrats to Ryan Reynolds, I should say. But Reynolds was paid 20 million for his role in Red Notice, in addition to another 20 million from Netflix for his previous film, Six Underground. And a third Netflix film starring Reynolds is also in the works, which is going to bring another hefty paycheck for him. So congrats to him. And he's leveraging this funding. You guys heard us report that he has a new diversity initiative called Working Together. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that as well. Coming in at number 3 in terms of highest earning actors is Mark Wahlberg with 58 million. Coming in 4th is Ben Affleck with 55 million in earnings from his return to the big screen in The Way Back and The Last Thing He Wanted. So congrats to all of these actors and the actresses. When we finally get that list, we'll get that information to you. And if not me, you guys will definitely hear it from Jamesia. But that does it for us here at the Evening News Rundown. If you haven't yet, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. You will find us at Florida National News on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And on YouTube, not only hit the subscribe button, but also hit the bell icon so you get all of the notifications for all of our shows. Now, of course, it was Wednesday. You noticed that our lovely Angel Perry was not here with us today, but she will join us tomorrow. So that means you get 2 beauties tomorrow that will join me. Angel Perry will be back to talk some work stuff and drop some truth bombs with us on the Evening News Rundown at 5. And since tomorrow is Thursday, Jamesia Stoudemire from Los Angeles will be back with your entertainment 4 for 4. At 1 p.m. tomorrow, you will get the Thursday edition of the FNN Politics and Power program, in which I'll be interviewing State Senate candidate Gertie Remy, who is running for District 9 for State Senate. We'll get into deep conversation with her. Then I'll be back with the Evening News Rundown at 5 with the 2 lovely ladies. So in the meantime, have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. Take care.